Activating. 1 second here.
Streaming live.
Could be. I'm just going to take a quick peek and make sure it is. Okay. We are now live. Okay, let me bring up the presentation. Get rid of our Hollywood Squares look.
I don't have it.
Okay, boom, and boom. Okay. We are live and the presentation is streaming. I'm going to go and get started here. Welcome everyone to the East Springfield Neighborhood Council board meeting for 8/11/2020. This is 1 week off from our regularly first Tuesday meeting. We had rescheduled due to the weather we had. I hope everyone is doing well who is logged in and watching right now. Just wanted to touch base on a couple things. One, if anyone has any questions or anything that they want to send to the council, you can reach us by phone, by email, contact myesnc.com, our Facebook page, which you are streaming off of right now if you are here, and also our YouTube channel. If you go to our YouTube channel to watch the video or any other videos we have there, please click subscribe. I'd like to get to 100 so I can secure the name, so that would help us out. Other than that, I will turn the meeting over to Kathy Brown, our president, and we will get this party started.
Thank you very much. Let us please pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Again, welcome to the East Springfield Neighborhood Council board meeting. We appreciate your attendance, and all of your comments and questions and issues are extremely important to us. So please make sure you communicate, as Guy suggested, through one of the many ways of contacting us. We do have a quorum here tonight with us right now. We have Marie and Guy's here, Ken, Brenda, Lucy, Peggy, and Lynn will be joining us very shortly.
She's here.
Oh, she's here. Okay, thank you, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
I didn't see you pop in. But thank you very, very much. Our monthly conference calls with the plaza continue. We're expecting another one this week. Please be advised that the plaza has not been financially successful, and the property is currently in transition back to the bank. That does have some significant impact on East Springfield and Hungry Hill as we continue to move forward. We still have a good working relationship with the current plaza management. The property has not changed hands to the bank yet. We know there was a significant trash issue about 2 weeks ago. The current property management, the people who we've been working with, although they had no money, they managed to fulfill our request to get the place cleaned up at least at one time. I have not been there in the past week, so I do not know what it looks like right now. So if anybody out there who's watching has a status report on the trash, etc., we'd be happy to have you communicate that back with us. But bottom line, it has not been financially successful. And the parcels we're talking about is that whole Springfield Plaza area, except for the new Dollars type store, and I don't remember what the real name of the dollar store is, that's on the corner of St. James Avenue and Plaza Drive, and the Dunkin' Donuts. Those are two separate parcels, but every other parcel in the plaza is and will be impacted, from the registry to the school department to the Bounce to the Rockies to the Stop and Shop to the liquor store to that whole strip mall to the McDonald's to the Burger King and whatever else I've missed in there, the Quest Laboratories. All of those are part of this parcel. But we will continue to have our meeting with the plaza management, and we've communicated this information when we found out to the city, to the mayor's office, to economic development. So we've been in pretty good contact with a whole variety of people. We do have access to the bank information, but right now it is to our benefit to work directly through the current people we've been working with because we have a relationship with them and they have a relationship with the bank. But please,
Kathy,
yes.
The trash cans are full, but they're not overflowing, but they're all full.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll see.
It looks like they got rid of the landscaping company that was doing the stuff up there because it's really getting wild and messy up there.
And that doesn't surprise me because right now, as we understand it, the plaza has no funds, and any funds that are going into the plaza from the rentals, that all goes directly to the bank.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, as in sort of a kind of the typical foreclosure kind of thing. But let's keep an eye on it, and please report anything and everything so that we're fully aware so we can continue our communication and try to figure out what the future is unknown. Plaza future is unknown.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
City services are still operating, and we say that each month. Please call 311 to continue to report issues. I'm requesting that everybody pay extra attention to getting the ticket number if you make a report to 311. It's so much easier to follow up on the progress of a particular issue or complaint. Get a ticket number. Okay. Again, please remember to complete your census. Again, so critical. I know that there's a hyped up census focus right now. The library's been helping out great with it. The school department's been helping out great. We've been doing our piece. And so let's just make sure we're all counted.
Yeah, and Kathy, if I can add, if you don't do your census workers are going to come to your house, and they're going to come back to your house, and they're going to come back to your house again. So you may be in a position where I'm not going to bother doing that, or I'm not crazy about doing it, or I don't want to do it, but I will tell you that they are going to be relenting in sending people to the house. So if you don't want people coming to your house bothering you, the easiest thing to do is just go online and get it done.
And the mailed in ones, so many people have mailed in and they haven't reached the computers yet. So people are having people knock on their doors even though they mailed in their census form.
Well, Marie, that's good to know. So no one feels like they're being
yes.
Yeah. People feel like it's
targeted.
They begin to wonder if it's a scam because they mailed it in, but now you're at their door. But it's just the information has not been put into the computers.
Okay.
And census workers coming to your home all have identification. They all carry identification, and they all carry census document and a bag that says census on it. So they're easy to spot, and there's plenty of identification. And even if you're reluctant to talk to a census worker, that census worker has documentation that will tell you how to call in or how to go online to report your census.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. That's good information to have. Any other board member have a comment on the census?
No.
We are including census information in all of the arts projects that we're doing. So again, we're doing outreach that way and a little bit of outreach in the Mallory Village social distance. So we're all working on it. The next topic I have is the Community Preservation Act. I don't think I reported on this before, but the Community Preservation Committee from the city has voted to recommend to the City Council our walking path at Marshall Roy Field proposal. And that's a $101,000 project. And the City Council will actually vote on it, accept that project in the fall. So thank you very much for everybody who worked on that. Ideas came from people. So we appreciate that. So good work by all. Okay, zoning, traffic issues. Just I want to make a note here. Trash on Page Boulevard and multiple other locations. I've received enough calls to make me worried about the amount of trash that's accumulating. So if you see trash, please turn it in. We've got, there's been some what looks like medical waste trash accumulating in a couple of storm drain areas. So if you see somebody illegally dumping or dumping trash, please call the police department. And if you see trash that needs to be picked up, it's on a public way, please call the police, call the 311, and let's get that into the pipeline. Question? Okay, thought I had another trash issue, but I don't seem to. Crew in St. James Avenue and the St. James Boulevard DOT, or Traffic Transportation Project, is still in design. I spoke with the city engineer today, and he has on his desk the 25% design project, and he's going to make an effort to share that with us fairly soon, and then there will be a public meeting. But right now the status is the Department of Public Works is reviewing it, and they're reviewing some of the particular quote problem locations within that project. The in front of the Service store, which we want to make sure gets designed right. That roadway between on St. James Avenue between St. James Boulevard and Crew Street intersection, which can be a little dicey. And then that whole area in front of Big Y and Hobart Street and in front of Pottinger. So I had this conversation today with the city engineers to make sure that they were eyeballing the areas that had already been brought up as areas of concern at our 25% meeting. So that was kind of good news to me. Comments, anybody? Okay.
To hear.
Yes, good to hear.
Yeah. We did have a request, which we will put onto next week's agenda. It was requested by more than one person to find out how are crimes that are regarded as less important handled. So we will bring that up at the police meeting, since I don't have those answers, or we don't have those answers. But some of the things that are just, you know, down a level from being important, except they're important to you and me if they happen to you. So we'll bring that up next week at the police meeting. The other concern that we had brought to our attention, and we've begun to take some action, a few people have reported that they've seen signs of or physical rats in some of the neighborhood. In the area of St. James Avenue and St. James Boulevard, in the area of the, like the 300 block of Page Boulevard, at the end of End Street, which is off of Crew Street. So we brought those to the attention of the city. We've talked to the health department, and they have a process of baiting, putting bait traps in those areas. So we expect that, we're hoping that that will make some difference. I mean, some of the calls came, some of the information to us came via regular email, some came by phone, and some came through the neighborhood council website. So thank you for bringing that to everybody's attention. And if anybody else has a problem like that, or recognizes it, if you could pass it along, you can simply call the City of Springfield 311 or to the health department and report it. Or you can give us a quick email and we'll forward it along.
Well, that's funny, because remember when I reported it, the girl told me I could get the neighbors together and we could get ourselves our own exterminator.
Yeah, and that's not happening. Thank you very much.
My girlfriend and husband killed 2 rats from under their shed 2 weeks ago in the middle of Redland Street.
Right, right.
Shed in their backyard. They caught 2 traps.
Mm-hmm. So if at Redlands, so that's sort of in the area at the end and between your house and Page Boulevard, Brenda?
Yep, yep.
Okay, so that would be in that area of the 300 block of Page Boulevard. So that is consistent.
Yep, yep.
So we'll turn that one in also to say that it seems to be extending down to the Redland Street area some more, because we might as well put a stop to this, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right, it may be because they're knocking those buildings down that they're
correct.
They're going other places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the buildings are taken down.
That's correct. Good point. Okay. We've had we will put this on the police agenda also, but we've had reports of some more drug dealing, quick stop and go drug dealings. Again, it keeps coming up on Sargon Street. It keeps coming up at the end of Edendale Street. It keeps coming up on Cruise Street. So we're going to ask for a little bit more attention to that, but we will put that on next week's agenda. If anybody of our people who are listening in have another specific location, if you send it to us, we'll give it to the police as a package, and that may be helpful as they try to evaluate and take appropriate action. Also, the area up by Cadwell and
Page.
Cadwell and Page, correct. Thank you. Thank you very much. What?
You know what? We're surrounded by the playground, El Paso. They park in that playground. Somebody comes in, the car comes in, the car goes out, and the other car leaves. You see it all the time. Well, right now they're not playing ball, so the parking is empty, so they can do it.
Okay. So what we'll do is let's make sure that the police have this information for next week, if not before, and we can get some reports back from the police. But we're getting more complaints, which means that it's becoming more prevalent.
Right.
And a lot of it seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, bike to car transfers, bike to bike transfers. So it's sort of roving drug stuff. And do I know what they're passing off in their hand? I do not. Do I know what they're passing off in their hand? I believe I do. Right?
Well, it's the neighbors that keep, they told me walking around that they think that's what's going on over there.
All right, so let's report it, and we'll put it on the agenda for next week, but I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Excuse me. There was something else. Oh, it's not on your printed agenda that's up in front of you on this Zoom meeting, but there has been a special permit requested for that auto wholesale car lot at the corner of East Street and Page Boulevard. They are going to City Council on Monday. We have very recently heard from them, and we are in communication with them. We have come to no agreement, disagreement, no conclusion at this point, but over the next few days, we'll be trying to hash out the weeds on some of this project. The planning department has already done their assessment. And with COVID, there is no longer the ability to go down to City Council and express ourselves. So there's sort of a complicated call in for 2 minutes and write in and call in and write in. So we're going to try to streamline it from our perspective. But bottom line is that project is going to City Council next week, and then will be heard. And then the beginning of September, the City Council will vote on it. And we'll just keep people as informed as we can as we continue to get more information. Okay. I just want to make sure I had a couple of things. All right. The grant opportunity for small businesses in East Springfield, that $20,000 from Eastman. We're just about ready to send out the grant money to people who have been successful in their application. And we'll let you know who they are as soon as we fine tune. We have to notify the people who have received it, and then they have to again sign a little contract to make sure that they meet all the requirements with Eastman and the requirements with Utchwood. They're not very much, but we still need a written down quote contract. Also, if you are interested in working on the neighborhood council board or on a subcommittee, could you please let us know? Just connect with us through any of the methods that, again, Guy talked about, and let us know who you are and what you might be interested in, whether it's a council committee or a council board position. Questions?
So there's a few that came in, Kathy. So one person had asked about getting sidewalks on Lang Street. They said that there's families that walk the park and there are cars speeding down the street. I do know that on our website, we have the link under helpful resources to the application to either request a sidewalk or to ask for your sidewalk to be repaired. From the application, from reading it, if a homeowner is requesting it, the city does ask for, depending on the linear square feet and percentage of the project. But Kathy, do you have more info on the process, or?
Well, the person who owns the property for whom the sidewalk will be in front of fills out that application, gets it notarized, sends it to the city. I do think the application says that there's a little bit of a cost. It has been my understanding that that cost is not assessed. I think that could change at any moment, but at this point, from what I understand, that cost is not assessed. And then it gets put on a city list and then gets taken care of. I do believe that the sidewalk crews still exist and they're out there they're planning to get out there and put out sidewalks. It's almost a tad early yet because they're doing other stuff like picking up tree limbs. Okay, what's another question, Guy?
All right, the next one, and I will be putting into the feed in a second the link to the helpful resources page that has the link to the application for the sidewalks.
Okay.
And there's a lot of other links and information there as well. The next question was actually there was a comment from Councilor Orlando Ramos that the Eastfield Mall has been facing similar issues as most plazas. I believe this is in regards to the discussion with the plaza that is having financial difficulties. He has a proposal to help struggling shopping centers, and he'd like to discuss it with you. So I'm sure you guys will connect after this.
Sure.
Also, the Mass DOT is accepting grant proposals to help with safe outdoor dining that he would like to discuss as well.
Okay. Okay, Orlando, I'd be glad to have a phone conversation with you. I think you have my number, so let's make a point of getting connected as soon as convenient for you. Thanks, Orlando. Anything else, Guy, for now?
There was a few, sorry.
That's okay.
Also, Deb had asked about the buildings getting knocked down. She thought John had mentioned that the rats were coming from buildings that went down. I think he was talking in general, like when buildings come down and such, that can happen. Part of the discussion around the infestations and the rats that have been coming up was that we had some reports of different areas that had the problem. And Kathy, what was the advice you gave for people who were running into that again?
Call 311, or even better yet, call the health department, or if they would rather, send us an email or a communication with the exact location and all the details and some contact information so we can ask you a few more questions. We'd be glad to forward that to the appropriate health department staff.
All right, and the last request was that there's the car dealer at East and Page.
Yeah.
They said it would be nice if there could be a fence or barrier put up to keep them from encroaching on the sidewalk.
Okay, thank you. We have so far that sidewalk will exist, and we are in negotiations, and we do not know where those negotiations will end, but we can certainly add that to our negotiation for a fence or something between the sidewalk, the public way, and the private property, some kind of barrier of some. Thank you for that information. That's good advice. Good advice.
Now, should I jump to the next slide, or do we have more stuff?
Is there more? Are there more questions, or are you good with the questions?
We are currently caught up with the questions.
Okay, I think I am done with my stuff for the moment.
Okay, jump into the next slide.
Slide. John Crosby?
We'll talk a little bit about Check Your Speed. We do have a Check Your Speed scheduled for this Friday, 4:30 to 6 p.m. We're all meeting in the area of 311 Page Boulevard. So for those of you who are familiar with Page Boulevard, that's where the curve is on Page Boulevard on the I-291 exit 4 end of Page Boulevard. So that's the address is 311 Page Boulevard. It's in that area that we'll be meeting at about 4:15, and we will be there with standing on the roadside with Check Your Speed signs and with speed limit signs, helping to educate drivers on their speed. And also the police department will be there pending any other priority or emergency that they have to be at that time. But their plan is to be there assisting us with a follow-up speed enforcement check and ticketing as necessary. at the other end of our of where we're standing. So as many as you can get out, that's great. And again, just a reminder, we will be observing all the protocols, the social distancing, wearing masks in and around when we're around each other. We're holding signs. If we're not in proximity of each other, you don't have to wear a mask. But we'll make sure that we're following protocols for that so that everybody's kept safe while we're conducting this event. So
you're certainly inviting anybody, particularly people in that Page Boulevard area, to join us.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the more neighbors we get out in that area, it's a great opportunity for you to give us a hand, slow some traffic down.
Thank you, John. Next, drive like your kids live here.
Oh yes, sorry, I'm half asleep here, I guess. Yes, we still, just want to remind folks, we still have an inventory, or we have drive like your kids live here signs available for those of you who want to post those in your yard. We're trying to get as many of those around the neighborhood as we can. I think the more we get posted in our neighborhoods, the more impact that will have on drivers and remind them to drive the speed limit. And, you know, I know from our last meetings and in prior contacts with the Springfield Police Traffic Bureau, they are doing speed initiatives, speed checks in our neighborhood, and that we have communicated on a number of occasions now that concerns about folks in the neighborhood with speed seems to be becoming a bigger and bigger problem. Speeding, erratic driving, reckless driving, you name it, it's going on out there, and it seems to have gotten a little worse than what it used to be. So the Police Traffic Bureau has confirmed that they are running these speed check initiatives to help us out with that in the neighborhood.
Thank you. I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah, and Marie just reminded me, we will bring some of those drive like your kids live here signs with us so that we have them available as it might be convenient for people to stop by in the area of 311 Page Boulevard and pick up a sign.
Thank you.
That's the new pot shop, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Brenda. I know that would be a bonus for you to attend, but the pot shop isn't in operation, and that's not part of the event.
Thank you.
John, just two things that came up. Deb had asked if we could have a flyer about the Check Your Speed event that she could share with her neighbors to get more involved. We do have a Facebook event on the Facebook page that you could share. And if you want to touch base with me, Deb, I can get you a copy of the old info with just the updated dates.
That'd be great.
But you invite whoever you want. It's an open Facebook event. And sorry, John, I'm just trying to cover it.
No, that's okay. Yeah, and you're right, Guy. I think if you go out, I think on my ESNC website and on Facebook, I think you should be able to get in there, and there's not only the date and time, but there's some background and summary on what Check Your Speed is, how it works, and what the focus of it is, and all that. There's a nice thing that you could just print it out even in the format on Facebook and get that circulated around.
It sounds to me what Deb is asking is if she could have a dozen or two copies of something that she could hand stuff, unless she has a printer that she could stuff. So why don't we reach back out to Deb and see what we can do to accommodate that? Because you know, in days past, we used to do a little flyering before COVID.
Before we had access to our
and we don't have access to our council office or the printer or any of that material in there. So kudos to all of the board members for making their dining room tables their neighborhood council offices.
Yep. No, we could certainly, you know, a dozen or two of flyers, we could put that together and get that done.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deb, if you want to ping me or Kathy or even John or Marie, we can set you up with flyers.
It's a good idea.
And then the other thing was she wanted to mention that she has the Drive 25 signs available if someone wants to work with her on those. I would say, Deb, if you want to put that into the feed, how they can contact you or the organization about the Drive 25 signs. That's probably the easiest way.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. All caught up again, and I'm now turning it over to Irene.
Hey everybody.
Welcome, Irene.
Hi.
Hey, it's nice seeing everyone's faces.
We can't hear you, Irene.
Oh, that's because guys are screamer. Is that better?
That's much
Yes.
better.
Okay. So I miss working with you guys, seeing you face to face. I miss all of your faces. Just a warning, if you hear panting, it's not me. The dogs are right next to me and they're a little excited right now. I want to give a special thanks. This is regarding the art boxes and the art kits. We want to give a special thanks to the Massachusetts and Springfield Cultural Councils for providing us funding for the individual kits. The last round of the kits have been completed. We were fortunate enough to get the 2020 census bags, so we want to give them a thanks as well. And the coloring books, which made it possible for us to distribute those. And the coloring books are just fun. It's something for the kids to do. We also were really lucky. TD Bank provided us a bunch of supplies. I mean, everything from financial education kits to coloring, crayons, which is really helpful. And one of their employees actually went out and on her own donated 100 boxes of crayons, which are going into this next kit, which we are now done with. We've packed them all up. And registration has gone, it went live on Nextdoor yesterday. It's gone live today on Facebook. And we already have over 30 people who've signed up for those. We also have some volunteers who have offered to deliver those. So we're really grateful to our volunteers for helping us out. And I'm thankful for the board for taking this mission on. It's been a lot of work, a lot of coordination, but it's been pretty awesome. And the reaction that we're getting back from the community is pretty great. People are really happy to have things for their kids to do. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really rewarding for us. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you. You guys did all the work.
Definitely.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you. Okay, other topics and questions. Let me ask, do any of the board members have any questions or comments or items that they want to bring up? No?
It's covered.
Okay. All right, anything else, guys?
1 second.
What? Go ahead, Irene.
Can you hear me? Oh, somebody had,
Who is it?
Huh?
Did somebody have a question?
Someone had brought up mentioning the census, but we mentioned that at the beginning of the meeting. So
okay.
Just a reminder to everybody, please fill out your census.
Can't hear you, guy.
Oh, fill out the census. And Irene had one more thing.
And I had just one more thing, and it's regarding scams. A lot of people know me for one of two things, and that's either artwork or Medicare. And right now we're having a lot of issues with scams specifically in this area. We're trying to educate people through Department of Elder Affairs Facebook page and letting people know we have soon to be flyering, letting folks know that we are having a problem with it. So people are getting phone calls or they're getting mail and they believe that they have to give up their Medicare information. And we just always want to remind people, please don't do that. Medicare is never going to call you and ask you for your Medicare number. And if folks have questions whatsoever, they're welcome to call the Department of Elder Affairs, ask for Shine, and I'll happily assist them with any questions that they may have. We want to make sure people stay really safe, especially now when you're already pretty nervous. Things are pretty scary and you don't need people to really put more of that on you. So just reach out to us and we can help.
Thank you.
Okay.
Information. Anything else, Marie? Do you have anything? Peggy? Brenda?
No.
Lynn?
No.
Kim?
No, the only thing is the noise level is getting very loud with people at home.
All right. I'm making a note of that. And why don't we bring that up again also at the police meeting? That's just 1 week from now.
Okay.
Okay.
How's it loud, Lynn? What are they doing?
Playing music that I can hear with all my windows shut and the air conditioning running, and they're on the next street.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
The last thing that somebody brought up in the feed before I go to our final slide is just they wanted to remind everybody to vote in the primary and the election coming up.
Thanks.
Okay.
It's good to know. Ken, do you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then remember to visit us online at myesnc.com. And our next meeting will be on Tuesday, August 18th at 6:30, and that will be our police and neighborhood meeting. So any issues, please, if you want to get them to us before the meeting via one of our mechanisms, please do so, and we will make sure that we have as many answers as we can have for you. Have a good week, please.
And the speed event.
Oh, yes, please. Do not forget our speed event on Friday. Hopefully we'll see many of you there. And that would be super. And
okay.
So please try to keep up on whatever the COVID guidelines are. I know that they are changing daily. The mayor did say that he's concerned about groups of people. And if you see groups of people congregating that you think are not being safe and you feel uncomfortable with how they're looking or what they're doing, the mayor has suggested that you make a phone call so that we can attempt to stop the spread. But anyway, have a good week. We'll see you on Friday if you can join us for the Check Your Speed. And we'll see you on next Tuesday night for the Police and Community Neighborhood Council meeting. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, if the board can hang.